people of Ghana, how happy we are and how humbled we are to be with you, particularly on occasion that we have to celebrate young people falling within our International Youth Week. We've had a lovely discussion over here with a host of young people, and I bet you, if you had opportunity to listen and be part of it, you will come back and come back. And your partnership with us over here also encourage us to come along to have most of these broadcasts being aired onto you. From the Office of National Youth Authority, with all our partners, NORSAC, PTY programs, we are happy to have you. Please watch and get us the feedback. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to a special PTY podcast episode in celebration of the International Youth Day. As you are aware, this year's theme looks at advancing local actions towards the attainment of the Sustainable Development Goal. And as PTY, we always say that change starts with you. And by the you, we are referring to the young person at the community level. Today, the Power to Youth program is collaborating with the National Youth Authority to look at the experiences of young people on the PTY program. I am excited to be your host, and I encourage you to stay tuned and listen to us. Welcome back. As I stated earlier, today we are looking at the experiences of young people and state institutions on the Power to Youth program. We will be scaling down to what they are doing individually and collectively as a group in promoting the SDGs in their various communities or districts. But it's also important that we get to know who our amazing panelists are. Let's begin with my immediate right.
Yes, my name is Mohammed Shamsuddin. I'm from the Youth Assembly, and I'm the youth presiding member there.
Yeah, hi. I'm Faiza Tusalisu, Gender Transformative Focal Lead, Young Lead on the Power to Youth Program, a member of the Girls Advisory Council.
I am Amankuna Ampofo. I'm Regional Director, National Youth Authority, and I'm happy to be here.
Thank you for coming. International Youth Day. We've heard it almost every year. And I know that as individual, it means different things to us. So for me, International Youth Day is about policy dialogue. It's about championing the challenges of young people and getting stakeholders to appreciate this. I would like to find out, let's begin with Director. What does International Youth Day mean to you, especially looking at the theme for this year, advancing local actions towards the attainment of sustainable development goals?
International Youth Day, it is a big event for young people of Ghana, young people of the whole globe, young people of the world. For far too long, we haven't had the occasion to, as it were, celebrate the various achievements and the contribution of young people to development. And so United Nations set aside a day to commemorate the achievements scattered across all the globe of young people. So we are more than happy from the Office of National Youth Authority to be called upon every year to celebrate International Youth Day. So usually teams are picked up in line or to align with whatever objective and the goal with which we want to see young people go, so that we could speed up their development through the celebration of International Youth Day.
Wow, that's very interesting. And I like the part that teams are picked up very deliberately. Before we come back to Director again, Faiza, could you tell me, as a young lady who has experienced so many challenges, so many successes, what does this day mean to you?
Yeah, so I think International Youth Day for me as a young person, it's about celebrating the resilience of young people. You know, young people, they say that we are the future, but I just believe that we are the leaders of today. So we do a lot of advocacy work in our community. So this day is set aside to, cheer us, celebrate us, some of the works that we have been doing to cause change in our communities.
Beautiful. Sham, what is the International Youth Day? How would you describe it in a few words?
Well, in a few words, I would say International Youth Day is just let me call it a holy day. A holy as in holy. You understand? It's a day where youth are in globally are celebrated. Even though I have the belief that within the months, youth should be celebrated every day. But then this one day is a particular day everyone in the youth, depending on the theme, come to celebrate all the youth involved in maybe the theme that's going about and also the activities they've been doing in their communities to cause change. Yes.
Yeah, I think this is very similar to the thinking of the Power to Youth program. For us, as a program that has run from 2021 and ending in 2025, every day has always been an International Youth Day for us. We've always used whatever resources we have to champion the concerns of youth. We've always used our resources to deepen platforms that initially young people could not get on board. And talking about things that PTY has done, I know that for you, the young people in the different communities, PTY has supported you to do some major activities or to cause some major change in your different communities. Could you connect it to how that is supporting you to, to drive the cause of the Sustainable Development Goal? Maybe we'll begin with Sham before we come to Faiza.
Yes. Personally, I've been involved in a lot of programs under the PTY. But then one thing recently I'm doing is about trying to influence or meaningfully contribute to local governance. And that's very key because prior to PTY, I didn't have that knowledge of thinking. I never thought that the youth can send forth their voices, even though there are still small gaps. But then after PTY, I got to know that the youth can send for their voices in order to contribute to the local assembly. So PTY has given me this, and also I'm also involved in a project which was called REVAC by Activista Ghana, where we try to link masculinity, how masculinity can help in ending SGBV in our local settings. Yes.
So how did PTY, just a follow up, how did PTY contribute to the implementation of your Rehivan Caravan project? How did it do that? In what ways did the program support?
Yes, so PTY has the YISC grants where Activista won, and then they brought out this project. Yes, so through the YISC, Activista was able to implement the REVAC project, which was just mainly to help in curbing SGBV cases.
Okay, thank you. Paiza, what
Yes.
have you been doing on the PTY program?
Okay, so for me, it's been an exciting experience. Like they said, Power to Youth, change starts with you. So I'll just begin with myself. And then with Power to Youth, you could see that I've grown to get some kind of experience, especially when it comes to, how to lobby and advocate for, key policies geared towards young people development, especially young girls and women. So for me, one of the things that one of the key contributions to Power to Youth program on our advocacy journey, personally to my girl-led organization, that is the Girls Advisory Council, we were supported through the YICS grant to carry out a scoping research. And basically, the research was just about how young people are being included in decision-making processes. And one of the objectives of the Power to Youth is to amplify the voices of young people so that they can meaningfully be included in decision-making processes, holding duty bearers accountable. So getting the opportunity, having the opportunity to, get the YICS grant to carry out the scoping research on how institutions are actually including young people in decision-making, it really opened our eyes to further, come up with some recommendations on how institutions and organizations can include young people. And aside that, through as a champion, youth champ on the Power to Youth, we've been supported to carry out some key initiatives in our communities. I remember I had a full month engagement with the Tamale International School. It's in Dungu community. So we had to carry out on how we'll be able to reduce the rate of teenage pregnancy in our communities, specifically at the Dungu community. You know, Dungu is within the PTY implementing community. So we had to take the young girls through confidence building, how they'll be assertive, also how to be gender aware, because it is very important as a young girl to be able to know yourself growing up, so that you'll be able to resist these key harmful practices in our society. Yeah.
Well, thank you. Before we come back to you, the young people, to share more of your experiences, I will just jump to director to find out some of the ways the National Youth Authority tries to support programs such as PTY, how you connect the youth voices onto bigger platforms.
For us, as facilitators of youth work, PTI, Power to the People, is what we believe in and what we champion. We have what we even call the youth-led programs. That's it, to allow the young person to be their own advocates. We have the belief that you cannot speak for young people, you cannot do all the things for young people. So we exampled our situation into an area where we have a team. And as a team, we have a coach. And the coach trained the players to go to the field and deliver. So we are coaching young people to go to the field themselves to deliver. So in short, it simply means we are giving the power to the young people to talk their own issues, to speak their own issues, to develop well-tailored programs and actions that will speak to their development, than to, as an organization, always coming up with the issue for young people. We want young people to lead in that direction. And so if you look at the 2022-2032 youth policy, we make sure we situate power to the people within the policy in such a way that all the action works, all the action plans, all the activities involve things that are young people coming up with or being done by young people themselves. So that at the end of the day, we get a maximum empowerment from the youth themselves. And so they being leading the way, they being the champions, they being the people that are doing their own things, will get the best out of them. At the end of the day, as a coach, you'll be sitting down and be seeing these renowned young people, developing and then contributing meaningfully to the global development. So that is the area we are coming from. That's why we are behind every activity that goes on to empower the youth to be their own advocates.
Thank you. So for every young person out there watching us, just know that the NYA is the father for youth development. And as a father, I want to believe you have deliberate opportunities and programs to support the development of your children. Director, could you add currently what programs or opportunities are there within the NYA that young people can leverage, to promote the attainment of the SDGs in Ghana?
Sure. The office is the house. NYA is an area you can walk to as young people within the age 15 to 35. And most of what we do is situate within the policy, as I did mention, 2022-2032. And this year, the change within this policy is that it came along with the action plans. Previously, if you look at the policy we developed in 2014, done in 2010 and then reviewed in 2014. You see that we never had any thematic areas seriously with action plans to help young people get into the policy and do something for themselves. This time, this one is a game changer. And we believe that most of the things we have here, which I'm going to mention some of them, is coming out of the policy document, which we are all implementing. Again, we have governments, and as a state institution, we are also informed by government policies and government programs. So whatever we do should also fall in line with government policies. For now, ever since we started most of these activities, particularly the present government, is coming out with a lot of interventions and programs, all tailored towards ensuring that young people have space to develop. One of these, which we are implementing directly as at now, is the Apprenticeship Youth Program, National Apprenticeship Program. We're also having to have a program on youth and agriculture, also having to have a program that promotes gender and mainstreaming women issues, particularly the young ladies, into activities which NY is implementing, or our ministry is implementing, that is Ministry of Youth Development and Empowerment. We also have programs like cocoa, youth in cocoa production sector. We also have a program that talks about Ejumawura. I think we've heard about this Ejumawura program that is ongoing now. Ejumawura simply means owner of a business or the person that owns, or simply put, an entrepreneur. So we are giving that young people the space to be their own businesses. And that Ejumawura, we had a course to have about 100 or 100 million young people, if I got it right, to be enrolled under the Jumawura program, so that we have a coach, we have mentors, we have facilities that give them startup capitals so that they can go in there, be mentored by businesses that are already existing, where young people are also modeling their businesses along these existing models so that they are mentored and then they come out also having their businesses. So there's a lot of programs NYE as an institution we are complementing partners like you to do, so that together we develop the youth of Ghana.
These are very beautiful initiatives, and I will entreat every young person out there to take advantage of these platforms to develop themselves. Let me just cycle back again to Sham. I was really intrigued about the project that you mentioned. You know, the one that was on SDGB, sexual and gender-based violence, and how, as young people, you were able to bring about some solutions in, in rural communities. Can you just highlight one or two successes that you had with the project?
Yes, thank you very much. We all know very well that it's very difficult, especially in our rural settings, to see males or men included in the fight of SGBV. Because some of them believe that they are not directly affected, so you don't really see them in the action. But then this project has given us that kind of chance to talk to the people of those communities that was in Myeong. So we got the youth and also the elderly in the community. We spoke to them. They became like champions. They became like ambassadors of preventing SGBVs. So this was something they agreed on, that they are going to champion it. They are going to take it like it's not going to be like now as they used to. No, we are not directly affected, so we don't really care. But now, as they made the commitment to us that they are going to be the champions, they are going to be the very people who will fight it in their communities. And I think this is a very big success, because if they are fighting it, yeah, it's going to stop. Yes, it's going to be a real game changer in terms of SGBV. So I think that's a major success we got from that project. Yes.
Thank you. I think this is very similar to what happened in the Kasina Nankana area, where we had local communities, the traditional authorities in these communities making up bylaws, to discourage harmful practices and also to internally develop their communities. Talking about local policies and also just tying it to national level policies, we do know that Ghana has a lot of policies, not just only policies on youth, but however, when it comes down to, implementing these policies in practice, it becomes a challenge. So as a young person, Pfizer, as a lady, looking at the unique challenges that we have as women, we are talking about unpaid care work, we are talking about, reduced bodily autonomy. What do you think are some of the other barriers that makes it difficult for these policies to be implemented after they have been, put together?
Yes, so thank you so much for this opportunity. I think some of the barriers that I will share as a young person within the space is that, lack of monitoring mechanism and implementation of initiatives. So usually, the government comes out with so much policy, but however, the implementation is always a challenge, and also how the key institutions which are, mandated to carry out these policies, sometimes they are not able to monitor, they are not able to sensitize the local communities on what actually the policy is. So an example is, let's say the affirmative action Act, which is just now passed into a law. It was a bill which is now passed into a law. This policy is so beautiful to the extent that at least when a learned person picks it, and you read it, you'll be able to understand it. So, but what happens to those women at the local level? Is this policies being transmitted into a language that they can easily understand? The Ministry of Gender is responsible to carry out this initiative. How is the government ensuring that it's able to track to see if the Ministry of Gender is really implementing that policy, or monitoring mechanism, like to monitor to see if organizations are complying to the act. And another thing that I will also say is the lack of funding initiatives. Most of these policies, the policies are so broad to the extent that if the funding is not enough, they will not be able to carry out this initiative. So I think lack of funding, inadequate funding opportunity, and then also lack of monitoring, mechanism being kept in place is one of the challenges that is, that we are facing when it comes to its implementation.
And just to further build on to what Faiza is saying, I think there is also the issue of limited or no awareness
Exactly.
about these policies, and it makes
Exactly.
it difficult for young people to appreciate what the policy is and to get the best benefits out of it. Now, still just on the discussion on policy, Director, you earlier on mentioned that one good thing about the youth policy that we have now is that we have actionable plans, to back its implementation. Are there some other recommendations that you can give to other institutions who have policies that are targeting young people? For instance, we know the Ghana Health, they have policies that target adolescent health. How can they make these policies really work and even sustainable?
Okay, I think the discussion is quite interesting. For me, this issue of policies not getting the needed attention, as it were, this is a fact, and I think we need to admit that and see how best we address that particular thing. But for some time now, I think we've all acknowledged that issue of gaps. And recently, the government, let me put it that way, is starting up something that is so beautiful. And I think if we continue that, it will bridge that gap of policy setting down, we not knowing exactly what is going on. So I think last week or maybe last month or so, we had a policy fair led by local governments. And then within that policy fair in Accra, all institutions and organizations have something to do with policies that's try to address the issues they are mandated to do should come up and showcase this policy for everybody to come across and know them. So I think the policy lasted for about 3 days. National Youth Authority were there to tell the whole youth, the young people, what we have for you. So come to our stand and learn more about these policies and be able to go out there and be part of it. Well, actually, if you don't really know, you can't be part of anything that you don't really know. And if the rural people do not even know the policy exists and the things that are within the policy, how do they take advantage of that? So we acknowledge that shortfalls, and I think things are in place now to ensure that the policy readily available. I mean, one thing is also we must also say that also as young people may not love so much to go on there and read. I must say that when we go there, sometimes we read something different from private things that may endure so much into our development. I would challenge young people over there to go out there and learn more. so that once we know what it's there for us, we can partner relevant institutions to do. One beautiful thing about your question is the partnership we have within the policy document. We're leveraging on strength of so many organizations, the international body, so many serious partners to complement whatever young people are doing. Because we know within this space, we cannot do it alone. We have a lot of other people, as you said, within various institutions that have something to do with the youth, that have something to do with, if they say one thematic area like entrepreneurship, there are so many well-tailored programs sitting in certain institutions being implemented in isolation. So if you know all these things out there and we call for action, as young people, we can access them, make it part of our developmental agenda. Let's look at this coding system that had just come up because we are in the IT space now. Young people want to leverage on this issue of uh, um, IT and digital space to be able to do the things they do. But we have a situation where we have the Ministry of Communication with that policy. We have National Youth Authority, our ministry, with a different policy. So if we are aware of all these isolated programs and policies existing somewhere, I think we can bridge that gap and be able to access. So I think it's something we'll have to collaborate in that front, partner each other, bring the good within each other, and together I think we can succeed as young people.
So, to every young person out there, the writer has just thrown a challenge to us that we should read more and enlighten ourselves more to take advantage of these policies. The conversation still continues, but we'll be right back after this short break. Welcome back from the short break. If you are enjoying the conversation so far, get interactive with us on any of our social media platforms. Well, at the end of the section, we ended with sharing the results from the PTY program. But beneath these results, I know that there were some fun moments, there were some challenging moments, probably some teary moments. Can we hear some of those moments just to inspire our young people out there?
Yes, I think one fun moment I had with PTY is at the launch of Youth Assembly. So there was this, they come to a time where I was supposed to swear in the youth MC. Actually, I don't know where the word consensuously went. Right now, but actually, it just vanished. When I was reading and I got there, it took me like some 3 to 5 attempts before I get the word consensuously. So it was really wild. Like, but as time when I repeated like 5 times, I got it. But I was thinking, what happened? Like, because the thing was on paper, I was supposed to read. It was really wild. Yes. And again, one time we were having a radio engagement, and then I mentioned my name as Honorable Shamsuddin. So when I went home the next day, I saw my area assemblyman. He said, Honorable Shamsu, and I was talking with a friend. The friend was like, Honorable, where did you come from? Are you part of the standard? I said, no, I'm not part. I'm just an honorable member. I'm a youth assembly member. That's why. So with this, I use it to talk to people about youth assembly and also the PTY program. So yes, it was really wild. Yeah.
It reminds me when we went to Miao and then they were reading and they were really struggling to read. And the coordinating director, assistant coordinating director said, Kuchalaba, kababang la karabe, la karabe kakbang yi karandama. In there he was saying, just leave the young people, let them know that is what the big men or the adults go through to read in public. These are very interesting things, and maybe as a young person you may find it discouraging, but it's all part of building you up. for me on the program, an interesting thing that happened to me was when we went to Benin. I was going with someone who is a Judas, and I called him. I was like, "Where are you?" He said he was in town. Unknown to me, this guy was in town buying Kivo Gari, and he never told me that you need to buy Kivo Gari or any Gari when you are going for international trips. So we went there, and I was really suffering with hunger because all the food. But he had his Kivo Gari in stock. And maybe this is just to our young people there that's out there that when you're going for these international conferences, it's important that you pick some homemade items, whether it's Gari or Shito, make sure that you have it. If not, I got so hungry to the point that I dreamt I was back in Ghana eating cake. I was really so hungry.
So if we look at some of the program that Sham was doing, and the experiences he's sharing on these platforms, I think it is a learning process for all of us.
Yeah.
You start something and it's like, am I on track? Am I getting it right and all that? And that title of honorable Sham is a serious issue. Because young people are saying that for us, we are not being paid. What we do is voluntary. So can't we also have that title, at least to ourselves, so that we also call honor? Ideally, honorables are titles that are supposed to be used only when we are within session at youth parliament or maybe at the real parliament itself. You record that mostly when they are out of the house, they don't actually use that title so much so that we don't seem to abuse it. But who are you to tell honorable assemblyman that is not honorable assemblyman? Actually, hell will break loose. So I think young people must also enjoy the title as it is. So Shan, I agree with you. I mean, it's a space to all this issue of power to youth. So it's your power you must enjoy as young people. So.
Yeah, so for me, I've had a lot of fun experience within this journey, and one that what I will share is, when we were inaugurating our youth parliament, after inauguration, when we were going to have our youth assembly, after that, I kept a post on Facebook that, oh, I'm the MC for Tamale Metro. I just saw someone came to my DM and said, Director, please, can you support me with please, this what I've not eaten. Can you support me with some little amounts of money? So I said, please, I'm a student. I go with Yes, and another fun experience was when we went to Parliament House in 2023. PTY, they've done so much. Bringing the young people from the local communities to, the national level to influence policy. So we're at
That
Parliament
was
House.
the advocacy of menstrual hygiene.
Yes, that was 2023 when the finance minister was going to submit its final budget to the parliamentarians to deliberate on. So we're at Parliament and then we're doing the advocacy, lobbying, influencing the MPs, talking to them. One MP just approached and said, "Why are you here?" Then I started shaking. He said, "Why are you here? And do I use part that you are here to talk to me?" So all those experiences, and it's really shaped me to just be alert. Okay, I should just be alert anytime the information. Although I had a plan of what I want to say when I go there, if anyone approach me, but the way and manner in which the MP approached me, in fact, my confidence just went down, and it was so exciting. And that was the first time that I had the opportunity to also, take pictures with other young people and then the MPs in my community. Yeah, and I remember we had an engagement on menstrual hygiene at Duano community, and we were showing the community members on how the men. We were, showing them how to put on sanitary pads inside a pad. So we bought a new pants. We had a sanitary pad, and there was one old man who was seated among the men. Then I just said, "Mba, so I don't fix a pad. What I know, I was really man to cover it. Man, you can push it back, though." So these are some of the fun moments, and it's exciting. And at the end of the day, he was able to, buy into our idea, and he actually fixed the pad and then promised that he's going to always get sanitary pad for the daughter. Yeah.
And it just tells us, the ingrained social norms that we have
Yeah.
in our communities, which reminds me of when we went to Sangbana in the Cherpone district. We went to meet with a group of men in their ghetto sort of, and we're having a conversation about menstrual hygiene. Why is it a taboo? And I asked the man that, oh, so if your wife is, we're having the conversation got deeper, and I asked, oh, if your wife is in her menses, fine. If you don't want to eat her food, can you hug her? And this man spat. He just spat. Like, what kind of conversation? He was so really disgusted by the fact that I asked if he could just hug his wife or maybe hold the hand. He said no. So I was also like, fine, why, what is the main reason behind such disgust? And he was like, oh, so I should eat food from my wife or touch my, not hold my wife or something, and someone would just use a cutlass on me and I'll die. So it brought the realization that some
Yeah.
of these harmful norms is rooted on strange beliefs, in superstition
Yeah.
and all that, because he had the belief that if he continuously eats food from his wife when she's in her menses, he was going to lose his power, his fortressness. He was going to lose that aspect, and he did not want that. And I
Yeah.
remember some time back with the young people, why one thing about young people here, why are you always late to programs? I think that
I
is
remember
something that
Madam Bashira.
yes,
I remember we were
that
going
is
to
something
have-
that really
in
impacts
fact,
on your
exactly,
meaningful
yes.
engagement and participation. So for all the young people out here in Ghana, please, let's throw away the Ghanaian time. We
Yes.
don't have to be late for programs. I remember when you guys came and you were
I think
asked.
that day we had a roll call, and in fact, this was a very strict one. So that day, even the lunch that we were giving, some of us we couldn't eat it full because, like, the kind of like advice that she gave us,
Yeah.
it really made us feel that, like, no, next time we have to
Do better.
We
And
have to do better. And then I think from that day onwards,
attendance, has really
there is no day
improved.
that you invite a young person within the space, the MOYs, and you see the person coming late. If the person will come late, the person will not even come at all.
Talking about
Yes.
That's
yeah,
wonderful. That is wonderful.
Yes.
Actually, young people, they say we are the future leaders, but we are. You can't groom somebody to be in the future if you don't start today.
Exactly.
So we are grooming young people to start all the future things starting from today. That is why within NY we are mimicking a whole lot of things. With the youth parliament issue, I think I should have even mentioned it long before. It's one way of we trying to empower young people into leadership roles and responsibilities. So that one day when young people find themselves over there, they actually become the game changer. And they become the parliamentarians that will go out there, make something out of the house, and come back and relate whatever they had with the people, take it from the people, get back to the house, and then relate to the house so that whatever is going on, it is actually from the people and not from the other way around. So in mimicking most of these activities and why we are trying to do is to have young people, situate themselves and give the power to them as we have for the project PTY.
Yes,
Again,
Madam, I remember that the last time, director, I called you very late. There was a collaboration effort that Girls Advisory Council we had with African Breakthrough. It's an organization in the southern part. So they wanted a girl-led organization to partner with them in order to sensitize young people through sexual reproductive health. And they do it through dance. So, they got in touch with Girls Advisory Council. And in fact, we were supposed to have a stakeholder engagement with the partners, and I wasn't having the contact of director, and the time was so close. I didn't know how to, contact the director. So I called the Tamale Metro director.
I've gone to their office.
Hey.
Yes, I've gone to
Yes, I
their
contacted the Tamale Metro director, and I think it was almost 4 p.m. 4 p.m. in the evening. So director just told me that Faisal, call director. Director will pick. So when I called director, I was just passing through the corners. I didn't know how to say that, director, please, we want to meet you tomorrow, because I know that we had already stayed, like we have already wasted some time before sending this thing invitation to him. So I was just beating around the corner. Director, it's okay, it's okay. Tomorrow I'll have a meeting at RCC, but tomorrow you come around this time, you'll be able to meet me. So I think these are some of the experience that we always give late invitation as young people. We wait when the program is tomorrow, they will now send an invitation out. But NYA, they are always open up to listen to RCS.
We must commend NYA, we must commend director and even the previous director, because they have been very proactive when it comes to youth issues in Northern Ghana. We cannot count the number of collaborations that we have had. We cannot count the partnership and the platforms or the doors that they have opened for us. You can think of the review of the National Youth Policy. We got to be part of it through the NYA, and so many other beautiful things that they have done with us through their collaborations. So we just want to use this platform to thank the NYA so far for how they have held our program together. The PTY, sadly, is maybe we should take a minute for PTY. PTY is ending this year.
Wow.
Sadly,
Wow.
yes, we are ending this year. It's really sad, it's it's like a part of us is going.
It's not ending. For me, we have internalized activities under PTI, which should be the sustainable way to go with that. So we look at it usually to think that maybe if we are not having the funding for the projects, we are not having the resources for the project, we are ending. No, we have the resource of the various communities of all the activities we've been able to achieve under the PTI. And I believe we need to go the long way to ensure that we continue with that. And as an office, we also need to be aware of most of these programs as we are doing now, so that it's either we continue with you if you have the resources from government sector, or we also look for alternative means of partnership, so that we don't really say that we started this initiative, a very laudable and a very beautiful one. At the end of the day, we don't have resources, so we are ended. No way. At least whatever successes we've made, we should spring out from those successes and make it work. So for me, it's for the fact that we don't have resources doesn't kill a particular initiative. The initiative must go on. Most of these initiatives situate within our policy document, so we can harness resources together. We can achieve more.
Thank you.
So don't die with that.
Yeah, thank you. This is really very inspiring and
Yeah.
motivating to the
Yeah.
team. It demonstrates that the agency and agency leads that we have worked with are willing to adopt and still continue with the process. And before we just draw curtains on this final conversation, maybe Faiza and Sham, do you have some last words, particularly when it comes to sustainability? What can young people do, or what are you willing, or what will you be doing to continue the efforts of PTY?
Yeah, so before I give my last word, I just want to chant power to youth.
Change starts with youth.
Power to youth.
Change starts with you. You have to
Actually,
make
you have
a
to do like
fist.
this.
Yeah.
You have to do like this.
To
right?
show that you
Okay,
have
we'll
mature in
go
you.
to support
Okay,
you.
so power to youth.
Change starts with youth.
So, hey, power to youth.
Change starts with youth.
Sorry.
So your sustainability, what are you going to do as a young person to carry on the good work of PTY?
Power to Youth. The Power to Youth program has built our capacity so much that we are now equipped with the skills to lobby and advocate, skills to be able to submit proposals to organizations, skills to manage our financial system, and it has already strengthened our capacity as an organization. So I think what we need to do is that we as young people need to come together. We have to have a coordinated effort where we'll be able to explore to other young organizations to see how we'll be able to champion the core issues of PTY in our communities. The core issues, that is ending sexual and gender-based violence, harmful practices, and then also unintended pregnancy. So I think when we are able to come together to have a coordinated effort, we will be able to sustain this initiative. Yeah, so through the capacity building that we have gotten as young people.
Sham, at your end, what would you be doing?
Yes, to sustain whatever we are doing under PTY, I think it's very good we try to transfer our knowledge in a sense that we have to make sure that the capacity we've gotten from PTY, from various programs, from various projects, we should try to transfer the knowledge we have into our subsequent projects we will have internally as a youth group that's talking about youth assembly. So we have to, whenever we are going to do something or we think of something, then we'll try to reflect on what PTY has taught us regarding our capacity, regarding advocacy, all the skills they embed in us. Then we try to transfer it to whatever we are doing. So I think if we are able to transfer our knowledge, it will be very good in sustaining our the PTY, whatever we are doing under PTY.
Yeah, so I think with PTY, they have been so deliberate, especially when it comes to, giving a step down training to other young people. So, usually they can't engage a whole lot of individuals or young people. So what they do is that if you are able to participate in an activity or initiative by PTY, what you need to do is that you have to transfer the knowledge, like Sham said,
Yeah.
to the other young people. So in this case, the knowledge doesn't just end up with the little people that they have.
It doesn't stay with you.
Exactly, yeah. So we are able to amplify the voices, we the young people that we've gotten the opportunity to, get the knowledge from the Power to Youth initiative. Yeah.
So we must also serve as coaches, as you
Yeah.
are saying, to young people, and be the lead in that particular aspect of coaching you have received under the PTY. So I want to one day see Sham over there as being the assemblyman of the area, so that they don't call you as
Sham, claim it.
honorable
You have
of
to
this
claim it.
for nothing. So once you are leading the way practically, you also motivate young people to
Exactly.
lead. For you,
Yeah.
you can stand to be assemblyman because you have passed through
MP,
you have
to
been
MP.
from
Yes, you
assemblyman
have
to
to move.
MP,
Yeah.
from assemblyman to MP, MP to Speaker of the House, because you are Speaker of a youth parliament. Is that not youth
Yeah.
assembly?
Assembly, yes.
So by extension, you are going to be Speaker over there. So this is some of the sustainability programs which you put in place to ensure that we have acquired so much, we have so many skills, we have actually gone through a lot. So why don't you put it into practice and let others know what we did, so that they also come to follow, and would also mentor them and coach them. So for me, young people, we should scale out from this issue of always learning. Let us put whatever we have learned into good use. Let us take advantage of systems around us, and then together with our strength and our talents, we can do a lot.
And on the part of the program, I know that we have also developed a lot of knowledge products that we'll be disseminating to all our young people, to all our stakeholders, so that they get to appreciate the key strategies that we have used, the results, and how they can also replicate it in their various institutions. I've had a really memorable conversation with all of you, and I thank you so much for the time that you have spent with us. I could talk about this the whole day, but like every good thing, it must come to an end, right?
Yes.
So this is where we bid all of you farewell. If you have really enjoyed this conversation, once again, get interactive with us through our social media platforms. Thank you so much for being here with us today. I've been in the studio with Honorable Mohammed Shamsuddin, who serves as the youth presiding member for the Tamale Youth Talk. Also here has been Faiza Swalisu, who also doubles as the GTA focal person for the Power to Youth program, and also the youth MC for Tamale Metro. We have also had the honor of being here with the regional director of NYA for Northern Region, Mr. Amankona Ampofo. Sorry if I butchered your name, Ampofo. And once again, I've been your host, Rumana Tujirila, Youth Empowerment Manager, and I work with NORSAC. This podcast was powered by Power to Youth. and it is implemented in Ghana by 3 consortium partners. We have NORSAC as the lead partner in collaboration with Songtaba and GH Alliance. Thank you for being with us here today. Bye.